Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the life processes, and as we know, life processes are the functions which are taking place inside the living organisms, and all these functions, they are together known as the life processes. And what are life processes? For example, respiration is there, digestion is there, and reproduction, control and coordination, excretion, transportation. That means simply you can say all the activities or all the functions which are taking place inside the body of the living organisms, they are included in life processes. These are called as the life processes, all the functions. And now the question is, when we are talking about the living organisms, what is living means? That those organisms who are having life, they are known as the living, and those who are not having life, they are known as the non-living. So simply when we are talking about the life processes, so life processes are the functions which are taking place in the living organisms. Now a student, as we know that ATP is the this currency of energy, and the full form of ATP, as you know, that is the adenosine triphosphate. And this is important. ATP is important because all the functions or all the life processes which I am telling here, they all need energy, and this energy is present in the form of ATP. And now the question is, from where this energy is coming? So energy, this is very important, and energy it is coming from the food which we are eating or which we are taking or which the living organisms they are taking. So food is very important. So simply we can say food is the fuel which is providing or which is giving energy to the living organisms to perform all these functions which are known as the this life processes. So again food, and the second terms, that is known as the nutrition. Nutrition and food they correlate together. As we know, this nutrition is the process of intake of the nutrients and utilization of these nutrients. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is the intake of the nutrients. Now students, you should know what are nutrients. Nutrients are nothing but simply they are the organic substances which are present inside the food. These nutrients, they are important. For example, nutrients like carbohydrate is a nutrient, and protein is a nutrient, and fat is a nutrient, and number of vitamins are there, minerals are there, and including this water. What is also there? So all these things, they are included in nutrients, and these nutrients, they are important to provide or give energy to the living organisms so that they can perform their activities or the functions, or simply we can say the life processes. So nutrition as well as this food, these things are important for the energy for the living organisms to perform their activities. So here we can say all these things are important. Now again this glucose, we are talking about the glucose. So glucose, that is the simplest form of the this you can say sugar. Glucose is the simplest form of sugar, and all these complex form of sugar is known as the carbohydrate. So from where we are getting this energy? We are getting this energy from the plants, because these plants, they are having capacity to synthesize their food by the process of this photosynthesis, by utilizing the natural resources. Simply we can say the chlorophyll, or you can say sunlight, and we can say the carbon dioxide and water. So on the basis of this, either these animals, they are capable to synthesize their food or not. We have just divided the mode of nutrition into two types. So simply we can say, or you can say that we are having two mode of nutrition, that is this autotrophic mode of nutrition is there, and heterotrophic mode of nutrition is there. Now students, now you can easily understand that autotrophic and heterotrophic. What is the meaning of this autotrophic? Auto means self, trophic means nutrition. So simply when we are talking about the autotrophic this mode of nutrition, so we can say auto means self, trophic means nutrition, and mode is the method. That means simply those organisms who can synthesize their food by their own, they are included in autotrophs. The organism are known as the autotroph, and the mode is known as the autotrophic mode of nutrition. So student, what are the these organisms who are just capable to synthesize their food? Simply, it's very easy, you know, that is plant. So plants and number of other organisms are also there, which are having chlorophyll or a green color pigment inside their body. This chlorophyll is very important to trap the solar energy. So simply we can say these plants, because we are having only one celestial body, that is sun, which is providing energy to just run this universe, and we human beings or the animals, we are not capable to trap the solar energy and use this energy inside our body. That's why these plants, they are having this very important characteristics or this quality. It can trap the solar energy, and it can utilize this carbon dioxide and water as a raw material, and in presence of chlorophyll, and these plants, they are synthesizing this sugar or the carbohydrate, and they are releasing oxygen. As we know, oxygen is very important gas, and it is important in the environment for the living organisms, because we are respiring or we are breathing this gas oxygen. So that is very important. So simply we can say these autotrophic plants or autotrophic organisms, they are synthesizing food as well as they are releasing oxygen by the process of photosynthesis. So how to define photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is very simple. It's a very simple definition. You can say photosynthesis is a biological process in which all the green color of plants or organisms, they can utilize this carbon dioxide and water as a raw material in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, and synthesizing food or sugar or carbohydrate and releasing oxygen. That is important for the survival of the living organisms. So this is the mode of nutrition in plants. So simply, if we are going in detail about the mode of nutrition in plants, student, you know what is there inside the leaves of the plants. Why leaves are known as the food factory? This is very important question, and this question number of times they are this question is coming in board exams. So why these leaves, they are known as the food factory of the plant? So simply you can answer for this, because these leaves, they are having chloroplast, which is having chlorophyll inside it, and this chlorophyll is a green color pigment, which is important for the plant to help to fix the carbon dioxide, water in presence of sunlight into carbohydrate and releasing of oxygen. And as we know, if we are just talking about photosynthesis in detail, so photosynthesis, that is the important thing is that in leaves we are having very minute pores, which are known as the stomata. You must be knowing about this stomata. So stomatas are nothing but they are the minute openings which are present on the surface of these leaves. And as we know, student, these stomata, these openings, they are present more in number on the this dorsal side, that is the lower side of the leaves, and they are less on the upper side. So what is the reason why these stomata, they are less in upper side or the ventral side, and they are more in the dorsal side? This is very the answer is very simple, because the sunlight, it is directly coming and just falling on this upper surface of the leaf. Just to avoid this loss of water by the process of transpiration, these leaves, they are having more stomata on the lower side in comparison to the upper side. That's why whenever you are just drawing the diagram, so you have to make more number of these stomata on the lower surface than on the upper surface. So simply these the stomata that is having the stomatal pore, and they are having two bean-shaped guard cells and the other surrounding cells, which are known as the subsidiary cells. So this stomatal pore is important because it is opening and closing according to the presence of the water inside these guard cells or the subsidiary cells. And it is also giving just providing this support and as well as this protection against the high intensity of light. If the light is more, then automatically it will be closing. If the light is normal, which is just optimal for the photosynthesis, then normally it is opening. And the second, the condition for the opening and the closing of the stomata is the availability of the water. So simply we can say these stomatal pores, they are helping the plants to exchange the gases. So whatever the gas is formed inside the plant during photosynthesis, that is oxygen, and this oxygen is going out in the environment, and these plants, they are taking carbon dioxide. carbon dioxide which is going inside the plants through these stomatal pores. So simply we can say the exchange of gases that is taking place by these stomatal pore. So by this way these plants they are synthesizing their food, simply we can say by the process of photosynthesis. And here we can say that the step of photosynthesis is very important and simple. So we are having three important steps. Students, what I am telling? Photosynthesis is having three important steps. Number one is the absorption of sunlight. As I told you, chlorophyll it is absorbing sunlight, and this sunlight intensity is very important. If the intensity is high, then this stomata will close, and it is low, then even though it is closed, if the condition or the sunlight is optimal or optimum, that is the amount or the intensity which is suitable for these plants to make food, then only these stomata they are opening. So this is again very important, opening and closing of stomata. And as I told you, this depends on the absorption of sunlight, depends on the intensity of the sunlight, availability of the sunlight also. Second step is the conversion of the light energy into the chemical energy. Simply we can say this light energy, that is the energy which is trapped by these plants from the sun, that is converted into the chemical energy, or simply in the form of the carbohydrate, you can say simply. This is the second step of this photosynthesis. And third is the reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. Again, students, just listen carefully. Number of times this question is coming in exams. So from where we are getting this oxygen, or from where we are getting this carbohydrate. As we know, oxygen is present in the carbon dioxide also, and this oxygen is present in the water also. So this is very important question, from where oxygen is coming, either is coming from water or it is coming from the carbon dioxide. Again the question lies that this oxygen is coming from the water. This is very important. You should know that oxygen which is released, the gas oxygen which is released in the environment, that is coming from the this water. Again the process, listen carefully. Again the process by which this water is breaking and releasing oxygen, that process is known as photolysis. So I have just written here also photolysis. Photolysis is simply nothing but this is the breaking of water into proton molecules, electron molecules and oxygen gas. And this oxygen, because this is gas, simply it will be released out in the environment through these stomatal pores or the openings of the stomata. So by this way this nutrition in plant is taking place. So simply we can say this autotrophic mode of nutrition is taking place in the plants. And as we know, some organisms class students, some organisms like Euglena is there. This Euglena is having these green color pigments inside the body. So whenever it is receiving, because this is an aquatic animal, whenever it is living inside the water, then or it is always it is an aquatic animal, it is living inside the water, and whenever it is receiving sunlight, so it can synthesize its food like these plants. And whenever there is no sunlight available, then it will this eat or this turn to the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So that's why I am saying plants as well as some other organisms, they are capable to synthesize food by the process of photosynthesis, and this mode of nutrition, that is known as the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now again these plants they are called producers. Why they are called producers? As I told you earlier, these plants only they are capable to trap the solar or the sunlight and converting it in the form of this carbohydrate, simply you can say, or the starch. So starch is, what is starch? If someone is asking what is starch, so starch is nothing but this is the stored form of the carbohydrate. So simply you can say starch is the form of carbohydrate in which these sugars they are stored inside the plants. So simply the food is stored in the form of starch inside the plants, or it is transported in the form of sucrose, and whenever we are eating, then this carbohydrate or this starch is converting into sugar simply, and sugar is the ultimate or the simple form of this carbohydrate or the nutrient you can say, which is oxidized by the oxygen. When we are respiring, what is going inside? Oxygen is going inside, and this oxygen is reacting with the sugar and breaking or oxidizing the sugar to release energy. By this way, we are just taking the food and we are respiring, oxygen is going inside. By this way, this oxygen is, what it is doing, it is oxidizing the food, and food is releasing energy, and this energy is used by the animals or the organisms for just performing different activities or the different functions which are known as the life processes. Now we come into the next this mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now you can easily understand, hetero means different, trophy means nutrition. That means the organisms which are not capable to synthesize their food, they are directly or indirectly depending on the plants or other organisms to just to get food, or just to just complete their fulfillment of this requirement of food. So heterotrophic mode, again, because most of the organisms they are heterotroph except the plants. And heterotrophic mode of nutrition, again it is further divided into three categories. One is saprotrophic mode of nutrition, and second is the parasitic mode of nutrition, and third is the holozoic mode of nutrition. Again, these are the three different types of heterotrophic nutrition mode of nutrition. Saprotrophic mode of nutrition, as you know student, these saprotrophs are the organisms. Simply we can give the example of yeast is there, fungus, and bacteria is there. So these organisms, they are the microorganisms. What they are doing, they are decomposing the dead bodies. So simply we can say these are the organisms which are living on the dead and decaying organisms. By this way they are getting their food, and secondly what they are doing, they are helping the environment to become clean. They are just eating the debris or the waste material, they are cleaning the environment, and they are also eating the, or they are taking the food by this way. So these mode of nutrition, that means the organisms which are living or eating on the dead and decaying organisms, either they are plant or animals, they are showing the saprotrophic mode of nutrition, and these organisms they are known as the saprotrophs. Okay, got it? What are saprotrophs? Those organisms which are living on the dead and decaying organisms. Okay, now the second type is the parasitic mode of nutrition. Parasitic mode, as we know, parasites are organisms which are totally dependent on the host body to get their nutrition. So we are having number of parasites which are living inside and outside of the body. Accordingly, whether they are living inside of the body or outside. So we are having two types of these parasites, endoparasites and the ectoparasites. As name indicates students, endo means inside, ecto is the outside. That means those parasites which are living inside the body, they are known as the endoparasites, and those who are living outside of the body, these are known as the ectoparasites. So endoparasites, you can give as the example, endoparasites, Ascaris you have seen number of times, Ascaris is there, and this liver fluke is there, hookworm is there, and number of which are living inside the body, and number of other organisms which are living inside the body. So they are directly dependent on the liquid food of the blood. They are sucking blood, or they are just directly dependent on the host body inside. They are living inside the body. That's why they are known as endoparasites. And ectoparasite, for example, you can say mosquito is a very good example of this. And lice, and you can say ticks, and leech is there. So number of organisms which are taking food from the host, from the outer side of the body, they are known as the ectoparasites. So parasites, they are of two types, endoparasites and the ectoparasites, depending on the location of the position where they are living. Now coming to the next, or the very important mode of nutrition, that is holozoic mode of nutrition. Again student, this is very important, because next two steps, that means the nutrition in amoeba and the nutrition in human beings, that is related with the this holozoic mode of nutrition. So what is holozoic mode of nutrition? As I told you that these plants, they are synthesizing the food in the form of starch, that is the complex form of sugar or the carbohydrate. And this when we are eating, because we are the higher animals and we are taking food and we are digesting this food inside the body. So whenever we are eating food, this food is in the form of complex form. This is simply in a complex form. When we are eating this food, then it is going inside the body. We are chewing the food and then sending or just pushing it inside the stomach, and where this food just be broken into very simple form or simply you can say by the process of digestion, these food will be converted into simple form of the sugar, and that is by the process of digestion. So simply we can say holozoic mode of nutrition is the mode in which the organisms, they are taking or they are eating complex food particles, and then they are converting this into the simple form of sugar, and which is utilized by the oxygen for the process of oxidation, and they are releasing energy. Again, these are the different modes of the this heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So holozoic is again very important. All are important, but holozoic that is important because the next step, that is nutrition in amoeba or nutrition in human beings, that is related to the holozoic type of nutrition. So students, we have just studied here what is life processes, what is food, what is nutrition, what are nutrients, and again what are different mode of nutrition, that is autotrophic and the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Then we have studied about the autotrophic mode of nutrition, that is the nutrition in plants, simply you can say. So how these plants they are getting their nutrition? As I told you, they are making their food by the process of photosynthesis, and they are utilizing the raw material. What are the raw materials? Carbon dioxide and water. So they are using this raw material in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and they are synthesizing their food. By this way they are synthesizing their food, and this food is utilized by the plant for their activities, whatever the activities they are having, like respiration is there, excretion is there, reproduction is there, growth is there. So number of functions, because plants they are also living, so number of functions they are performed by the plants. So plant is eating near about 90% the food which is synthesized by the process of photosynthesis, and it is only stored 10%. 10% of food is there, and this is stored in the form of starch, which is given to the heterotrophic organisms. That means if we are eating the plants or other animals, they are herbivores, if they are eating the plants, so they are getting only a very little amount of this food. So these are the different mode of nutrition. So in this next topic, students, we are going to discuss about the holozoic mode of nutrition in amoeba as well as in human beings. Thank you class. Thank you.